Laura Brabham, and this is my new student dialogue vlog for the Clemson Connect section. I went to the mental health dialogue, and I believe that our group achieved true dialogue because we all contributed our unique thoughts and ideas, and we had an actual conversation about mental health and some of our personal experiences with it. And I think our leaders did a really great job of facilitating the conversation and keeping us on topic. And it didn't turn into a debate. That's what they made sure of. And we all listened and respected each other's opinions, and we didn't judge each other. We all just had open ears and open minds, and we really had good conversation. I think there were active voices in our group. The more active ones were usually the ones who personally struggled with their mental health or knew somebody that did. So they had a personal experience with it, and they had more to add to the conversation. And it was just really cool to hear their story and how they dealt with their condition, or how they helped other people deal with their condition. There are also more reserved voices in the group because they were usually the students who didn't want to be there. They thought they had better things to do, and they weren't into it. They didn't see how this would help them succeed in college. So I think if the session wasn't mandatory, then people would be more open about to the idea of coming. They wouldn't feel this is something I have to do. I don't want to do this. It's gonna suck. So maybe if it wasn't mandatory, then people would enjoy it and get more out of it. I felt like I was somewhere in between an active and a reserved voice because I listened to other people's stories, and when I felt it was necessary, or if I had something to say, then I would contribute my opinion. But I didn't have stories to tell really, or that I wanted to share. So I wasn't really an active voice, but I also contributed to discussions. I wasn't reserved. And I think that dialogue is a component of Library 100 because it's a necessary skill to succeed in college and in life. And it's an important part. When you go to college, you have to meet new people, you have to make friends, you have to have conversations with them, and just that's a main part of college. So we need to be able to communicate our ideas clearly, and also listen to other people's opinions and respect other people's opinions. So it's definitely a valuable and useful tool at Clemson, because when you come to Clemson, there's so many different people from different backgrounds, and we all have different stories to tell, and we've gone through different experiences. So dialogue is definitely important because you need to be able to have a conversation with them and not debate your differences. Just accept them and move on. And I just thought it was really cool. We did an exercise, and it was we had to draw a person with a certain mental illness, just on a whiteboard with a expo marker. And my group was given PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. So we drew a soldier who just arrived home from Iraq, and in his thought bubbles we put bombs and guns and the desert, because that's flashbacks, which is a symptom of PTSD. And then he was coming home to his wife, but he still remembered Iraq and was having trouble with it. So after he finished, our leader came over, and we told him that we drew PTSD, and he told us that we were wrong. And he crossed it out, and then he drew somebody who had PTSD. And he just drew a face with two eyes, a nose, and a mouth, like a regular person. And the point of this was to show us that you can never tell if a person has a mental illness by looking at them. If I'm just walking down the street, I can't be oh, that person has a mental illness. You can only know if you interact with them and you know their history. So it made me realize that I could be surrounded by mentally ill people and never know it. And I never realized how many people actually suffered from a mental illness. So this workshop really opened my eyes and raised my awareness to the prevalence of mental illnesses on college campuses. So I think it was a really important workshop to go to, and it was definitely a really positive experience. And that's about it.